Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, coming to you from beautiful, sunny, warm Las Vegas. I'm here for the Bitcoin conference. We've got JD Vance speaking, Vivek Ramaswamy, Donald Trump Jr. It's an amazing conference with all these Bitcoiners from all over the world, thousands upon thousands, taking us into a new conservative age in terms of finances and currency. But I had to check in with you guys because I caused a bit of a stir the other day with a post that I put up on X that did the unthinkable. I actually took a bit of a stand against President Trump. Oh, it's nice and noisy here. We got the police. Yes, I did. There you go. See, they're coming after me now. I took a stand against President Trump and they're going to arrest me for it now. Yeah, no, it's true. I actually responded to a Truth Social posting that he did in response to Russia's escalation of drone and missile attacks in Ukraine, particularly Kiev. Now, this was in response to what Russia claimed was an assassination attempt on the life of President Putin by Ukrainian forces. And they absolutely have been obliterating targets at an unprecedented level. It is an escalatory act, no question. We're talking about 300 different drone strikes and about 100 missile strikes, particularly in the capital city of Kiev. And President Trump responded to that escalation with his own escalatory rhetoric. And he took to Truth Social and he wrote, "What Putin doesn't realize is that if it weren't for me, lots of bad things would be happening to Russia right now. I mean, really bad. Putin is playing with fire. So in other words, you better stop what you're doing, or I'm going to make sure bad things could start happening to you." Well, I took to X and I wrote in response this, quote, "Sorry, but if you want to destroy your base and watch your presidency go down in flames, start something with Russia. This is asinine." Now, there are two reasons why I put out that tweet. First and foremost, it's because Trump was jumping, it seemed to me, he was jumping onto the escalatory bandwagon of NATO rhetoric, European leader rhetoric. It was basically arguing that they were going to be removing the range restrictions on missiles and weaponry for Ukraine to be able to hit into the heart of Russia, very much like what Biden did in the last couple of weeks of his presidency when he gave them permission to send attack missiles about 200 miles inland into Russia. The reason why I push back on that is because President Trump was not elected to escalate things with Russia. He was elected to de-escalate and potentially resolve things. Now, of course, he said, he's going to be able to end this conflict. That's all he's wanted to do. He wants to stop the killing. He doesn't want to increase it. But the bottom line here is that his base does not want escalatory rhetoric coming from Trump on this. We don't expect anything different when it comes from your Keir Starmer or Macron or any of these goofballs in NATO and so forth. But if to the extent that he is listening to neocons in his administration who only know how to escalate, Trump is going to be hurting his base. His base did not vote to get into a conflict with Russia. His base did not vote for Trump to escalate things with Russia. They voted for him to de-escalate. And to the extent that he starts sounding like a neocon, he is only politically hurting himself. So that's my first point that I have with President Trump.
But first, gang, if you are a homeowner, you need to listen to this. Let me ask you, when was the last time you actually checked on your home title? That's the legal proof you own your house. Now, if you're like me, the answer is never. And the problem is, in today's AI and cyber world, scammers are stealing home titles and your equity is the target. So it works like this. Criminals forge your signature on one document. They use a fake notary stamp. They pay a small fee with your county, and boom, your home title has officially been transferred out of your name. Then they take out loans using your equity or even sell your property. You won't even know what's happened until you get a collection notice or a foreclosure. That's why you need to stop what you're doing right now and find out today if you've already been a victim. And it's easy. Use promo code Turley Talks at home. It's just one word, Turley Talks, at HometitleLock.com to make sure your title is still in your name. You'll also get a free title history report, plus a free 14-day trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud should happen, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. Go to HometitleLock.com right now. Use promo code TurleyTalks, all one word. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code TurleyTalks.
But the second reason why I put up that tweet was because Trump's Truth Social posting made it sound as if he thinks he can set the terms for the end of this conflict. He believes that he is the one that can contribute to the terms that end this conflict, that he has an inordinate contribution to make to ending those terms. And I'm sorry, the reality is, for right or for wrong, that is simply not true. This conflict, again, for right or wrong, I'm being purely descriptive, not prescriptive here. This conflict is going to end on only one person's terms, and that's Vladimir Putin. You see, the neocon propaganda is that Putin right now is desperate. He's losing millions and millions of troops. He tried to take over the entirety of Ukraine, and he failed because of the valiant response and defense of Ukrainian soldiers, and they were valiant and very brave, no question. And now he's caught, he's bogged down in only 20%, just happens to be all Russian-speaking part of Ukraine, and he doesn't know what to do, and he's doing everything he can to try to get out of this conflict. That drone and missile strike in Kiev, and just the escalation of the drone and missile strikes over the last 3 days makes it very clear that is not true. That is pure propaganda. That is not what is actually happening. Putin is completely in charge of the situation right now. He is where he wants to be. And what Trump can do is he can facilitate the terms of peace, no question, but he cannot force them. Precisely because this is a conflict of great power politics, and it will be resolved through the structures of great power dynamics. So this goes all the way back to 2007 in the Munich conference, when Putin made it clear, this was at a NATO conference. Putin used to actually show up to NATO conferences, and he made it clear to everyone there that he was drawing a line in the sand. And the line in the sand was, you cannot allow Belarus, Ukraine, and Georgia into NATO. If you attempt to bring them into NATO, that's it. We're going to act precisely because we have our own hegemon here. This is our civilizational sphere. And for you to encroach on that civilizational sphere would be every bit of transgression akin to what Khrushchev did during the Bay of Pigs crisis and the Cuban Missile Crisis. So you better not do it. Well, the following year, guess what they do? They invite Ukraine into NATO, stupidly. Fast forward to 2014, the Maidan Revolution, orchestrated, we now know, by our State Department and Victoria Nuland and the like. And you end up getting rid of the duly elected, relatively pro-Russian Ukrainian president, Yanukovych, and the Donbass region breaks away and Russia takes over Crimea. Donbass is, of course, primarily Russian. Kiev assembles forces to take back the Donbass region, and NATO starts arming them. So, in effect, as far as Putin was concerned, in effect, NATO had already made Ukraine a de facto member by virtue of arming it to take back the Donbass. And so in February of 2022, given that this line was crossed, Putin said, that's it, we're going in. And what he basically did is he Crimea'd the Donbass region. And now we're at the point where Putin is basically saying, the question now is simply, how much of Russian-speaking Ukraine do you want us to annex? And how much of the rest of Ukraine do you want us to wreck? That is where we are in this conflict. How much of Ukraine do you want us to continue to annex? And how much do you want us to wreck? And the only way this ends is on Putin's terms. Again, it's for right or for wrong. I could care less. I'm being purely descriptive, not prescriptive. The only way this ends is on Putin's terms. And given that Russia has China's backing, by the way, that's the Trump Tower. I can't see it. There you go. That's a pretty good. That's Trump's not Trump Tower, Trump International Hotel behind me, all in gold. Absolutely beautiful. That's actually a nice shot to end this with. So bottom line is that now that Trump has secured the absolute backing of China in their own backyard, the bottom line here is that it's not Putin that is playing with fire in this escalation. It's Trump himself. He's playing fire on the international stage, and he's playing with fire with his own base. So hence why I wrote that tweet. If he wants to dismantle, if he wants to destroy his base and see his presidency basically go down in flames, having lost all political support, he can start something with Russia. It's absolutely absurd to do. It's asinine, as I put it. And hopefully that was just rhetoric on his part and nothing more. Love you guys. God bless.
Hey there, Turley Talker. You know what? I'd love to hear from you. That's why I'm launching the Dr. Steve Hotline, where you can call in, leave a question, and maybe even hear your own voice featured on an upcoming episode of the show. Whether it's about the latest political shakeup or cultural trends or how we keep pushing forward in this new conservative age, I want to know what's on your mind. Call me at 717-844-5984. Just leave your question. I'll be checking in every single week to answer as many as I can. Again, that's 717-844-5984. Your chance to be a part of the conversation. One more time, 717-844-5984. Give me a call and let's talk.